So they paid more money. It doesn't mean that it's going to work well. They probably overpaid for the skill sets that the person had, but it still didn't work well, because can your person do custom design work with custom code base? Can they add schema code and get over 100 points of schema? These are all things we do, of course. Can they write content? And guys, someone told me the other day, they're like, Nolan, we write content. I write content, I can do video editing, I can do all this. And they had hired a marketing expert, and this individual, for me, probably isn't a good client to this point in time until he realizes that the marketing expert can't bring him what he wants, because he wants to do all the work that we do. And I'll have people make comments like that too, like, oh, I could do it, I just don't want to, I'm too busy. The fact of the matter is that you couldn't do it. And if when people hire the marketing expert, do not let your ego get in the way or your controlling measures of getting the quality work done. Hey there guys, it's Nolan Walker. Today I wanted to talk about the in-house marketing expert. And guys, no offense if you're a marketing manager for someone, but I'm going to throw in what I think the business owner should be doing with in-house marketing, because I run into this all the time, and it's mind-boggling to me because of the money spend that is involved. And I actually started as a digital marketing agency after I got messed around by a web company back in 05 or 06. I hired 4 people internally. At the time, I didn't know how to manage them, couldn't monetize it that well. I ended up spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and letting them go about a year and a half later. And then several years after that, we started the marketing agency. But it took years to get going to be able to train these people, to be able to work with them and understand it well enough to guide them and manage them. And so I'm telling you this because no matter what you do for a living, if you didn't understand what you did for a living at all, do you think you'd be able to manage your employees and your company to be able to have it profitable? You wouldn't be able to. So why people do this from a marketing perspective is beyond me. The amount of money that the marketing expert that you hire internally cost and what you could have gotten in professional services is crazy. I tell you what, I'll give you an analogy. It's like hiring someone that's not an accountant or a bookkeeper or not an attorney and expecting them to do that job well. So you have these people in there that are almost always, and listen, it's your person too, they are a low skill set. And the reason I say that is because after having a business with a few dozen webmasters in here, I know that one person can't do everything. There's almost no one in here that could even do 75% of it. So almost no one in the group. And if you hired that one, they would cost you 6 figures plus. In fact, I know somebody who paid 6 figures. Actually, they're paying $8,000 a month for 6 months. And it did not work with that person either. So they paid more money. It doesn't mean that it's going to work well. They probably overpaid for the skill sets that the person had, but it still didn't work well, because can your person do custom design work with custom code base? Can they add schema code and get over 100 points of schema? These are all things we do, of course. Can they write content? And guys, someone told me the other day, they're like, Nolan, we write content. I write content, I can do video editing, I can do all this. And they had hired a marketing expert, and this individual, for me, probably isn't a good client to this point in time until he realizes that the marketing expert can't bring him what he wants, because he wants to do all the work that we do. And I'll have people make comments like that too, like, oh, I could do it, I just don't want to, I'm too busy. The fact of the matter is that you couldn't do it. And if when people hire the marketing expert, do not let your ego get in the way or your controlling measures of getting the quality work done. I'm going to sell you this. You could have a marketing individual on hand, but that marketing individual would not be the marketing expert or the marketing manager. They would participate in marketing with you. And I'm going to break that down too, so this isn't all just self-serving stuff for us as a digital marketing agency. I know that you need professional services. You just don't know that you need it, but the reason you don't know that you need it is the same reason you don't need to be trying to manage your own marketing person. You would have to hire many, many people, and even if you did, you'd also have to know enough to be able to manage the individuals that you hired. You cannot do that, and therefore you should not try the higher end stuff if you don't have proper design. So the guy that we talked to, had a DIY design that was lacking all code base. They had a plugin hooked up to this other back-end system for product, none of which could have been optimized, and they had dozens of pages that they wanted to optimize, but they weren't even visual on the user interface of the website. So it was all messed up already. The content was poor, there was no video up, the code base was poor, their social media was non-existent, they didn't know how to pay-per-click, and they didn't podcast or doing this other stuff. I mean, they didn't know how to do any of it, but the ego of the client that I was talking to, potential client, was that they could do all of it. But if they could do all of it, then why didn't they have it? And so, I mean, I know that sounds like semantics, but it's true. If you had all this, then why isn't it up? And so if you've got the marketing person up, here's what I suggest to do with them. First off, I would suggest this. You get the highest quality marketing company you can find, and instead of spending thousands, we have packages that someone can get involved in much less expensively and get great results out of. But if somebody's going to pay someone an entire full-time position, imagine the Cadillac service. I know what you can get from us, because you can get a full-blown local effort with tons of content, worked on regularly with a blog, with changing content additions, working the Google My Business account, citations and domain authority linking on an extremely high level. You can get integrated reviews. With the kind of money to hire someone completely full-time, we could implement in videos, podcasts, videos cut up 7 different ways through YouTube, back through the website with transcripts, and cut up for Facebook and Instagram, and for you to reboost, and all kinds of stuff. Podcast, iTunes, Spotify. My God, it'd just be unbelievable. So all this money goes to this person, maybe because you've been screwed over by a web company and you want to try it yourself, maybe because you want to control it all, but it doesn't make sense because I understand what needs to happen with it. If that money goes to this person who is a shell of an agency, knows how to do almost none of it, and if they're gonna stick up a template web-based website that's gonna lack the proper coding, they're not gonna know how to write well, because we vet writers out in here that are fantastic, all degreed, all writers before we hired them, all checked, all trained, with an editor on staff. You don't have any of that. You don't have the ability to even know how they're supposed to write. And so they're gonna write very poor quality content, they're gonna play around in social media a little bit, and then they're gonna maybe spend some money on pay-per-click too, and they're not even certified for Google AdWords. Our staff, there's 3 or 4 people here that are Google AdWords certified. We're a Google AdWords partner. Why turn this stuff over like that? Don't give up. My point is this: don't give up on finding quality services. Now, what some marketing individual in the office could do is that they could do things that you could do better. And I'm gonna list them for you. They could take pictures of stuff going on around there. They could do videos of stuff going on around there. So since we're not there, we can't do that. We can do a better job at your social media, Facebook and Instagram ad spend, because we can get into demographics and the minutia of the ads and make sure that it's spent well and your money's not wasted. That's worth it to pay a nominal fee for monthly management to have somebody that knows what they're talking about. We can do the creative on it. We can do all of that very, very well. We can do your Google AdWords spend very, very well. All the certified people in here in Google AdWords Partner, we can do that. Now, but your person could go through and get pictures and videos. They can help you integrate reviews. Make sure that that's being done. They can call clients back to get more reviews. They can help you with other external marketing items that you have, or integrate your brand and do things like that, like print and other stuff as well. So, and it's not bad. I mean, depending on what you're doing, how far of a reach your marketing is, they could even do a video or a podcast, and we would chop it up in multiple different ways and help you with distribution and run it through a website for even higher end signaling. They might be able to do that as well. So there's a lot of things someone in-house could do, but seriously guys, I've done this a long time. You are getting the most basic marketing person in the room. They can do some stuff. Let them help you with your social postings, but be careful. I'll tell you this, I'm gonna do another one about social. Social works if you work social, but you don't work social, so it doesn't work for you. You cannot turn it over to some girl or guy and expect to do these goofy posts about some canned random holiday or pictures and expect it to work. Social posting is about getting personal. It's about stuff like I'm doing now. And if you can't be the face of your company or get someone in there that's serious, that loves the company, that's serious like an owner and wants to get involved in the social media, it'll never work well for you. It's important to get involved in social if you want it to work. You can't throw it to somebody else. So there are things that somebody can do internal for marketing. I suggest not having them at all until you get all of the other technical stuff done. And if you grow to that point and you want some extra help, the problem is what I see with business owners is that they hire someone that knows more than you know, which is almost nothing about online marketing. That person says yes and says that they're going to set it on fire, do your website, do your social media, and they come in there and do a shell of what should be done. And it's a travesty and should not happen. The amount of money you spend for that person, you could have been a rock star if you match up at the right agency. Now, I am empathetic. I understand that there's a lot of bad agencies out there that do template junk work and just sell a bill of goods, but they're not all like that. We're not like that. So I hope that helps. For your marketing in-house expert, that it sits there. One person can't do this job anymore anyway, maybe back in the day, a decade ago. And you can't manage them, so don't try. And if they do stuff, let them do surface level stuff like reviews, pictures, videos, stuff like that. If you're gonna let them do social media, by God, have them do it to where it's serious. Don't let them do goofy stuff like celebrating goofy days that nobody cares about. A lot of this stuff that I see in social media posts it's not relevant to the type of business. If it's some sort of hardcore construction business and they're celebrating some weird holiday on there, it's not relevant, guys. So if you're gonna keep the post real, they could maybe do that, maybe. And as long as you manage that portion of it. But that's a little tidbit on how to get them to manage social media. I highly suggest that you get involved in that. And I highly suggest that you not throw stuff at unskilled labor that you happen to hire that you thought was a good idea to do. So, and if you have somebody you want me to personally help you or someone else in here, how to direct them to do what's helpful within the office, and then combo the stuff that's the high signaling that we can do so that you get the best of both worlds, we can help you with that as well. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm venting a little bit, but I thought it was an important topic. So many people have done this, it's crazy. But we'd love to be of service someday. So call us when you're ready. Good talking with you.